Shooting the Breeze Conversations with the DJ. Yours truly, Eric Lee, in the house. And I've been talking about kicking off this podcast for about 2 months now, posting a bunch of pictures of some of the artists I had an opportunity to interview, hang out with in my radio years, as well as some of the folks I got a chance to intimately have good conversations with and have good dialogue with. And I wanted to kick off this edition of the first podcast because everybody has a beginning. And there were some folks that were very instrumental as I kicked off my radio career. Now, I do a podcast each and every Tuesday night. It's a fantasy football podcast, and I do it with my brother from another mother. We went to school together. We hung out together. We worked together. Different markets, same business. My man Lorenzo Ice-T Thomas, how you doing, my brother?
What's up, E. Lee? What's happening, man? How my mic sound? My mic sound nice. Check one. My mic sound nice. It sound okay?
Yeah, you sound okay, good, my brother. You sound good.
You left that one. You left that one thing.
What'd you do?
We were roommates together.
Yeah, we're roommates too. We had roommates. Yeah. And we can talk about
right
that too, man. That was those are some times back at State. I see you got your jersey. We represent.
I put it up there. I put it up. Hey, every time I appear on the show, I want to have a shirt hanging up here that represents the particular era that we're talking about.
Right. And when I started off in this game and radio, we all have mentors. And the brother that I'm about to put on right now undeniably showed me everything I needed to know and giving me my foundation for what I have done in the industry for years. I got to give it up to my man, JJ, a.k.a. Jerry Carter. I think we lost him. I think we lost him.
Did he sign off?
He signed off.
When you put him backstage, did he sign off?
I think he signed off. He'll probably be back on. But what we want to do, we're going to get JJ back on, and we're going to talk a little bit about our experiences starting off in radio. Will's supposed to join us too. So we're going to talk about that too. But there was a door that we used to go through every day, Lo.
Yeah, that was the door. That was the door. Yeah. Right there in
Harris Hall.
And Harris Hall. That's right there in Harris Hall, on the ground floor.
Yep, absolutely, man. That's where we started. As soon
as you open that door, the studio was right there to the right.
Yeah, man. Man, what were your memories back at State, man? Right, not at State, but specifically for WVST.
What were my numbers?
No, your memories, bro.
Oh man, sheesh! I don't even know where to start, man. You know what? I do have to say that when you ask what my memories were, I think I have to start back to my introduction into radio.
Right.
So there was a young lady that I was in class with who, we were taking class together. I think it was a communications class. And she just, in the middle of class or at the end of class, she came up to me and she said, "Hey, they're looking for an internship at a radio station locally in Petersburg." She was working there as a news director. So I was like, yeah, what kind of station is it? She was like, it's a country station and they need some help on the AM. So I'm like, okay, so what are they doing? Come on by for an interview. So I went on by there while I was in school. So I'm still taking classes and they had an internship available. So they just needed someone on the AM to sit there and plug in the carts. Now, basically, these were carts where you would put commercials on, and it was basically a national program where on the AM, they would send down signals to fire the carts whenever their talk shows, and some of them were music shows, but on the AM, they would have Paul Harvey, what was it? Paul Harvey, The Real Story or something like that.
The Real Story.
So anyway, BJ Northington was the individual that came to me and said, "Hey, would you like to do an internship at I can't remember the AM station, but the FM station was a country station, which was 95 KHK. Okay." Right. Very close to KKK,
Right.
So, and I worked on the AM there, just basically, after I would get out of class, I would take the bus over to the radio station and would be there from basically 1 or 2 to 7. And in Petersburg, the buses stopped running at 6. So then after I would get off, I would have to walk, from the radio station to my home, which was probably about a 45-minute walk. So that's the first thing when you say memories, Petersburg radio, that's what I remember most. And because of that experience that I gained, once VST was hiring and, they were paying, because I was already getting paid.
Hey, I was free. I was free lunch, man.
So I was like,
lunch.
well, I mean, I can't come and work for free because I was already working in radio getting paid, So they carved out some money, and Jerry Carter and Cathis Hall were very instrumental to getting me on the payroll. To once I got on WVST, I was able to get paid and do a full shift. I did Soft Tones, Moments in Love on WVST. The irony of it is that because at State, everyone knew me as Tim. Right. I was Tim. Everyone didn't know me as Lorenzo because Lorenzo was my first name, and I used that in class. But on the yard, everybody knew me as Tim. So on the radio station on WVST, I used the name Tim Johnson. So that was my name because everybody knew me by Tim. So I said I got to come up with a last name because I didn't want to use my real government name because I had a stalker around that same time. So we'll go into that a little bit.
We'll talk about it a little later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. You want me to call Jerry?
Actually, I text him. You can give him you can give him a shout because Jerry was so instrumental in my growing into the business. He had been in radio business for a while, and he was a program director for the station, and he hired me. He was the one that gave me the opportunity. And I remember the first day I was on the air, and I was on the air by mistake. I was running a syndicated jazz program called Jazz in the City with Ken Spiderweb. For all the New Yorkers, y'all know exactly who he is. I used to run that program, and the music didn't show up one day. And so they were like, he was like, well, you're on. I was like, but I've never been on the air. I was so bad. I was so terrible on the air. Somebody said that I would never amount to anything in radio. Ever.
Wow.
Because I was that bad. But I seem to have done well in radio.
Yes, so, yes, you have. Yes, you have.
I've been okay with it. I'm good,
Right.
Billboard Music Director of the Year. Nominated 3 years. I was good. I was pretty good.
Yeah. You did pretty well. That kind of reminds me of my first time on the radio on WPLZ. Right after working on the AM station, I got promoted to do overnights at the country station.
Right.
So, but I always dabbled in production. My production game was always tight. Right. So I always spent time in the production room before I even got on the AM. So once I was doing the country station and I was using Ice-T on here on the country station, I kind of like put a demo together that got me on WPLZ, which was Magic 99. So I don't know why, but I did fine on the country station. I wasn't nervous, but once I got on Magic 99, was doing overnights, everyone at State could hear me. That was the number one station in the market, and I got nervous. Right. And Phil Daniels called me while I was on the air, called me on the hotline. And he was like, listen, young man, just relax.
Slow down, baby. Slow down.
Just relax. Slow down. Just imagine you talking to one of your girlfriends on the yard and you're talking to one person. Hey, take a picture of someone and put them right there and just talk specifically to that person. Phil Daniels gave me that advice.
Man, look, that was my thing. I'm shouting out every girl in Branch Hall, Howard Hall, Trinkle Hall. Y'all see me on the yard, I'll shout you out. I'll shout you out.
Right.
Shout out to Harold Holloway, another Virginia statesman. He said, "What's up, Trojans? What's up, Harold?" My man, Tim Daniels. Tim Daniels. What up, Tim?
What up, Tim?
Thanks for checking us out. My man Chris here in the ATL. He said he was going to check me out. Thank you for checking us out, Chris. We got a lot of folks that are chiming in. We're going to get back to that. But Lo, let's talk about some of our experiences back on the yard, because we gotta let people know we true to this. We're not new to this. We've been doing this for a while. Remember that?
Oh yes, look at that.
How you like me now?
How you like me now? That is, I don't even. We're not going to say the year.
I'm not
But
saying years, bro. I'm
we're
not
not
saying
saying
years.
years, but Kumo D was on fire.
Kumo D. Look, this is when rap beefs were all off the. This is what's this Kumo D and LL?
Yeah, they had the
That's
serious.
the beef. That was
That
beef
the
back
serious
then.
beef. Yeah,
That
I
was
always
beef.
when I see this picture, I was like, "Yo, what was up with us wearing the hats on the top of our heads like that?" See, Mo D had it pulled down, but I
Yeah.
guess maybe we were in the South, we were wearing it, a little different from the people from New York. But maybe it was the WVST hats, and they were a little too big or what have you. I don't know, but yeah, this is a classic. I've had
Yeah,
this
this is
picture for a
classic.
while, and you posted it before
Uh-huh.
I could because I had to wait for like the right time to post this one. But yeah, man, this is how far back me and Lee go back. And I think we still look the same.
Hey man, dude,
I
I
mean,
posted a baby picture on Facebook today. So
I saw it, and minus the hair. I had a little bit more hair. I just cut my own hair for the first, well, not for the first time, but I cut it down this low for the first time, and I just like got tired of watching the hair grow in certain areas and not in others.
hey man, check it. Look at here, man. One of the Fins fans said we look like Belle Biv.
No, but hey, I'll take that. I'll take Ronnie. Ronnie still look good.
Oh yeah, man.
Yep.
So conversations with the DJ, just in
Oh,
case you guys don't know.
wait a minute. We're on Miami Sports Network too. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we locked in, man. We
Okay.
locked in on all of the formats tonight.
Okay, that's cool. That's what's up.
We
I
got
didn't
a
know
lot
that.
of folks. We got somebody say HU in the building. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We respect all our HBCUs.
Oh, and they got to put the Bills logo in the background. All right. All right. Oh, is that for Bisons?
That's for the,
maybe that's for the Bisons, not
maybe
the Bills.
it's for HU. Maybe it's Howard University.
Okay.
They're
Yeah,
gonna call
right.
it the real
fine.
HU. We're not gonna
Right.
get into that. But what conversations with the DJ is about is shooting the breeze. We're just gonna have some conversations with some folks. We're gonna interview some folks, talk to some folks that were instrumental in our lives, instrumental in the music industry, in the comedy and theater, and all those types of things. Some very interesting, cool people. And what we wanted to start with is our origins and how we all got started. So Lo and I are sitting here, chatting it up. One of our mentors were here, but he disappeared, and he's trying to get back onto the actual format. Now, Lo, I'm gonna take you back a little bit, bro.
Okay.
You know,
I'm just hitting. I just hit Will up, trying to be like, yo, where you at?
One of the things about Lorenzo and myself, we were never ever, and we'll probably never ever be shy about getting to the microphone.
Oh no, not at all.
This started a long time ago. Remember this?
Oh wow. Oh wow, I have not seen that picture.
Black
in
College
a
Radio
long time.
Conference. We were still in school.
Yo, who are the people on the panel?
I don't, know what?
This looks like, the back of Skip Dillard's head right here. I think this is Skip Dillard right here.
Look,
because that's where Skip Dillard is actually the program director. He used to be the program director for WBLS in New York, and he now is the program director for the Block in New York City.
Right.
And that's how far back he and I go. We go back to this time where all the people from the colleges came together, and we made an impact in the industry because our radio stations played music that most of the commercial radio stations were not playing. We were very aggressive at that time.
But think about who we were back then in terms of just college students. But Dame, who ended up the program director for Sirius XM.
Yeah.
He was at Norfolk State back then.
Well, what am I doing up there?
No, remember. Oh, man, you forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
Both of us. That's Nelson George right there. Nelson George was one of the most people in the music industry.
Yes.
We were the young kids that they allowed us to get up there to talk. These were all old. They weren't old heads, but they were the pros in the business. I'm trying to figure out how we got up there. We were never shy from a microphone.
No, but we were representing Virginia State University in a big way.
We were repping hard that day.
Yes, and there were a lot of industry folks there. I do remember that. And wow, it has to be amazing to those panelists to see that that's where we got our start. And I mean, Nelson George, I know I used to see him all the time at the conventions,
Right.
and would always speak to him and say hello. And, he'd always drop some knowledge. And it was always great to see him. And because of the lack of the conventions, we don't see each other and other people as often as I wish we
As
could.
we used to.
But this was our beginnings, our humble beginnings during the Black College Radio tours. So those things were huge. And, actually, they need to bring them back.
Man, and the thing about it is, it was at Pascal's in Atlanta at that little hotel. And I remember because it was some kind of hot up in that spot. I remember that part.
Right.
But yeah, Nelson George was columnist, music, culture, journalist,
Mhm.
filmmaker. He was all of those things. But we got
Yeah.
a chance to hang
That's
out
him
with those
sitting
folks.
right there, right?
Right.
At the bottom of the picture?
Right here at the bottom of the picture.
Wow.
Bottom of the picture. Now, I
Wow.
don't know where you were this day. Where were you? Our first anniversary of the station.
I'm not sure. I'm
This
I
was
am
our
really
first year. This is after our first year with the station on. And that was we had our anniversary. Almost died that day. Literally. And I didn't know that until I got a little older. Messing
I-
around that day, because this was back at my house. Those are the
Mhm.
balloons we had. And I was
which house
such
is
a-
that?
those were the balloons that we had that day for
Well, what
the-
what house are you where house are you staying at?
Oh, that's our spot. That's our
That's in
spot.
Chester. In Chester,
Chester.
right?
That's
Okay.
our spot in
Yeah,
Chester.
yeah.
So Chad probably took that shot.
Yeah.
If you didn't do it, Chad took the shot. Chad was probably at the house at the time.
I don't know. I don't know if I was there in the beginning of WVST.
Okay.
I don't know if I was there from the very beginning because I was already at this point,
At
I was kind of
KHK.
working. Yeah, I was already working. So I was working at, if it wasn't KHK or WPLZ or WANT,
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
right, at WANT, where I was making money. And I don't think for the first year, I don't know if they were able to pay everyone at that
Oh, we-
particular time. So I don't
Hey.
think I came until when I started. That's when I was probably at A&T at the time. So I was, because you got to remember, I was doing WANT in the mornings, and then
we'll
I would
talk-
do WVST
We got
at
some,
night.
we got some
I was
jokes about that.
I was the drive jock.
Yeah. So I was stupid sucking in helium because it makes you talk real funny. So as a college kid, I'm like, you smoke, I was inhaling the helium, but I didn't realize I was suffocating the oxygen in my blood, and I started getting lightheaded. And I think Jerry's like, man, you better stop doing it before you kill yourself. And I had no idea that you the stupid stuff that you do as a kid.
That's
Oh man.
crazy.
So we'll talk about WANT because we got some stories to talk about that. But first, my man Mike says, Michael Ealy is like, what's your VSU? Yeah, we VSU.
Yeah. I'm so glad
Yeah,
I go
yeah.
to VSU. I didn't wear any paraphernalia, but I got the shirt hanging up, and this ain't no green screen, so
Right.
man, I got the the WVST right here. Come on, man.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
right
playing.
there. It's
Hold
Scott
on. I
Jackson
got
said, "What's your
that.
franchise?"
I put that by, and then I pulled the bottle out, and come on now.
Okay,
That's Detroit, baby. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So that's VSU right there.
that's
So-
right. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. We've got a number of folks that we've interviewed over our careers, from the Jay-Z's of the world to the Beyoncé's of the world. Lo, you hang out with the president, so you on a different level than I'll ever
Yeah,
be.
right
You got
behind
pictures
me.
with Obama. You
That's
hang out
me
with
and-
Obama, so we'll
It's
talk
funny you
about
said-
that.
There's I got an autograph right there. That's Jay-Z right there, autograph CD
Yeah, yeah.
from Jay-Z. That's LL right there,
I got
and
the Dr. Dre Chronic.
and Jill Scott. So
Okay.
yeah.
We got some stuff to talk about. And we'll go back to the Black College. Remember this shot? This was at the conference too. We were hanging
Wow.
hard back then.
Wow. Who's the guy? Is that Chris Washington? Who's that? No.
He was from Atlantic. I think he was from Atlantic Records. I forget. Look, it's been a while too. So it's been a
Yeah.
minute since then. It's definitely been a minute since then. But as we talk about, let's talk about some foolishness, man, because for people that are checking us out, Lo and I go back a long way since the days of working in radio in college, as well as Lo actually hired me to work at WANT, the AM
Right.
station. But
Right.
do you remember the times when we got paid and you got to be one of the first of 5 or 6 people, else that check might bounce?
Oh yeah. I didn't own the station. I mean,
you didn't own the station.
I didn't own the station, so I wasn't responsible for the payroll. But
oh my God.
WANT was a legendary station in Richmond, Virginia. And I got hired there based on doing overnights at WPLZ Magic 99. So once I got that experience on Magic 99 with the help of Jay Lang, Phil Daniels, and of course Steve Crumbly, who ended up hiring me on three different occasions throughout my career, I was able to get a job and was working and making money constantly. So I became the program director at WANT after a while. And I won't even mention the owners of the station.
We're not going to put them out.
Right. But, there was some issues with the payroll. And it's like I was like, look, we all got to rush to the bank to make sure
whoever get there first
to get the check. But we were all young and, sheesh. I mean, we lived in some nice places, but it was still kind of, we were pinching pennies to make things work. So, I hired, and Eric and I talked about this at homecoming, and I had totally forgot all about it. I had forgotten that who I was responsible for hiring at that time. Antoinette Esser, who works in Richmond at that time, was someone. El Bravador, I hired him and brought him on. He was part of the
Z-Rock crew.
Z-Rock crew. Part of the Z-Rock crew. And brought him over. Chocolate Chip was there for a while as well. So I remember hired Eric to do afternoons. And in fact, Eric has had a line that he used to do on WANT which I took and I still use to this day.
That's fine.
Eric ain't on the radio. After a while, he wasn't on the radio for a while. So I said, I think I'll just borrow this. So when Eric was doing afternoon, he would, he would move from 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So now when I'm on Star 94.5 in Orlando, I just say I got you in 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear. So that was something that Eric said on the air all the time. And I just, kind of adapted it and used it, and I still use it to this day. So thank you, E. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And the reason why I got that was because driving that red Sentra, it was a 5-speed. I was like, that just kind of made sense. And now I crack up laughing because I got a 7-speed. And every time I go to get my car valeted, I get all these young kids and they run up to the car and like, I don't know how to drive a stick. When did they stop teaching people how to drive a stick?
I don't know. I mean, it's fun, man. It's fun driving a stick. I want to give a shout out going out to Finn's Take with CB83. He says he listens to me in Orlando all the time. I appreciate you so much. I'm having so much fun on the air in Orlando. In fact, I get off at 7, so I had to run around and do some things just before I could get ready for the show. But the people in Orlando have just greeted me with open arms, and the station is doing well. I mean, it was, for a while there wasn't a whole lot going on in the station, and over the past year, it's turned some things around, and we're very involved in the community in Orlando.
We got some people from VA from the 757. Trey, what's up?
What's up, Trey?
Dolphin fan, and he says VSU alum. We up in the place, man.
That's right. That's right. Trojans all day, every day. That's how we do
all day, every day. But no, man, what I wanted to do is get in here and let people know that, as we talk about, going forward with the podcast about, shooting the breeze with some of the folks that we know, some of the industry legends that people don't know that they will know, that we're going to do this on a weekly basis and kind of bring you backstage to the people that were very instrumental for some of the artists that and their everyday household names. When I was in radio, I also had a video show called Video Connection, which allowed me to interview. Jay-Z did the show a couple of times.
I'm gonna intervene right here, so I can, so it didn't sound. So I want you to remain humble. So I'm gonna take charge of this now.
Okay.
Eric Lee was the music director at WCDX, and as time went on, we
Right.
both worked at WCDX, which was Power 93
Power
at the
93
time,
back
and then
then.
changed
Yeah.
to 92.1 at iPower, whatever it is they say
Yeah.
now. But Eric Lee was the music director there at Power 93. And back then, you have to remember that this is like the early 90s where hip hop is just starting to explode. And
Right.
then it's the combination of hip hop and R&B. You got a lot of hip hop artists making these cameos on R&B records. So
Right.
when artists would come, it was important for them to go to the radio station, right?
Right.
But then Eric took it a step further and started doing his own radio show. And because he was the music director there at the station, had access to all of these artists. Now,
Yeah.
he wouldn't do the interviews at the show. At the radio station. He would tape the show off at another location. We'll just put it to you that way.
We'll talk
And
about
these
that
artists, okay, and these artists would come to this secret location, and I know this because I kind of guest starred for and filled in for Eric a couple of times on this particular television show.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when you talk about having he's got some of the biggest artists in the can just waiting to be exposed on this show.
Yeah.
They're big. It's actually, he showed me some of the footage, and I told him, I said, there are people out here that will pay you thousands of dollars for this footage. And you'll see
Okay.
it on this show.
Hey, we can't. He got back on, so we got to bring him in. Jerry
Man, I
Carter.
thought you guys forgot all about me.
No,
Yeah.
we lost you.
Where you went?
We lost you.
Well, what happened was, I think when I went to sit down,
Mhm.
I think my camera went up to fade. And so what I did was I took my hand and decided to pull the bottom of the camera up, and then there you guys were. Because I thought maybe you were having technical problems,
No,
waiting for Will. So
we were
I just
waiting
hung
on
on
you.
in here.
Jerry Carter. Hey, JJ, let me say first and foremost, thank you for all that you poured into me as a student at Virginia State, teaching me the way. Because I remember there was a person that said that I would never amount to anything in radio. And you told me, don't worry about it. I was going to be all right.
Well, I knew that, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I can't take a lot of credit for anything.
Yes, you are.
You guys, y'all came into my life for a reason. First and foremost, Doc Arnold saw something in me that I knew I had the light. All I needed to do was put myself around the right people. And so I was very particular about the people that I needed. And I would go out in the hallway and to the different dorms and listen to people talk to hear a sound that I needed. I knew what the sound was. I knew what key the sound was in, because I knew that what attracts people to radio is sound and having the right sound. You just can't put anybody on the radio or anybody on TV. They got to have the right sound and the right look. Well, it came easy because you guys came by the radio station, and I said, this is really, really crazy. You know, I'm in charge of this project. I don't know what the hell to do, but yet everything that I needed was walking toward me like I was a magnet.
Well,
So that was
good.
divine intervention. So that's the reason why I can't take any credit. The moment was meant to be for all of us. And that's what makes you successful. When you acquiesce, stop trying to be the top dog and sometimes just be a part of the pack,
Right.
you'll get further. That's what I found out from the spiritual side of living life,
Right.
and not the ego side, living in the now.
Right.
We can survive in the now because we are just, but what keeps us grounded is the spiritual side, because you can't lie to your soul.
Right.
That's right.
Thanks for dropping them gems, Jerry. Look, Jerry, you still doing it, brother.
Well, I'm just honest, man.
Hold on. Because I was told that you were voted the #1 afternoon jock in Norfolk, Virginia.
Well, you got it almost right. It was for the state of Virginia.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry.
This is recently, E. This is recently.
So,
right.
So for folks that are checking this out, this is the tree. We are the fruit that have fallen from the tree. The man that's the #1 jock in the state of Virginia. So when I tell people, I say this is a guy named Jared Carter. Everything I learned from him. And I can say now he's the #1 jock in the state of Virginia.
It shocked me too. I had retired, and the station that I worked at was owned by the city of Chesapeake.
Right.
And I needed the extra money. Clear Channel fired me on my 59th birthday.
Right.
They fired me 15 minutes before I turned 60.
This business is crazy.
Well, I knew that, but I had a good run, and my dreams came true. I never had a job.
Right.
So I wasn't going to argue with the path I chose. I could have gotten out at 20. And when I mean 20, after 20 years, I was ready to let it go.
Right.
Aaron Maxwell brought me back in the game. I was in Roanoke. I had left North Carolina Central after we had ran through North Carolina.
Right.
Because we had another great run down there with the students. And I'm saying, this is what we do. Why is it you have to have a doctorate in front of your name to get some recognition? We ask kids to pay X amount of dollars to fill out a form, and we charge you $100 to ask, can you come to school? You get there and you perform, and they don't pay no attention to you because you don't have a DR in front of your name. Well, it's ass backwards.
Keep it real, Jerry.
It really and truly is. Everybody who had a doctorate was not qualified to be in the classroom. Everybody that you've learned radio from, not just me, they didn't have doctorates.
Yeah.
But everybody that's in the classroom with a doctorate, they're studying somebody else's thesis.
Yeah.
So they won't ever grow.
You know what's interesting about that, Jerry? I'm going to have another gentleman that's going to be on the show in a week or so.
Right.
He's been in the music industry forever. He wanted to teach music about the music industry to college kids.
Right.
The PWI school saw the value of all of his years of experience and granted him that. But before he went to a PWI, he went to a HBCU with the same syllabus and the outline.
Right.
Now, this guy's been responsible for some of the biggest artists, Usher, Biggie, you name it. He was responsible for all of this stuff.
Right.
But the HBCU wouldn't take his curriculum because he didn't have a master's degree. But he had been in the business for 20 years.
Right. It didn't matter.
Years. It didn't matter. But the PWI was like, look, hey, we see what you've done with Outkast. We've seen what you've done. He's going to get on here and talk about what you're talking about right now, because sometimes we look at the academics who have never done what we've done. All they have is theory. We've got application.
We have practical experience, and that's what we bring to the game. And a person with a PhD
That's okay to have a PhD. I'm not saying
Well,
nothing
I'm
wrong
not
with it.
knocking. Yeah, you're right. It's nothing wrong with it, but here's the thing, Eric, that I found out, and it's just a theory, based on me sitting here wondering about everything, because I think everything before and after, and now that I'm older, and now that we've had our heyday, and now that we've made history, and we have to protect that because nobody's going to give us credit because we don't have a doctorate. If we had a doctorate, we'd be every damn where. But the thing is, people with doctorates, after they get their doctorate, they don't dream no more. They got the flame to get the doctorate. But in order to get a doctorate, you got to write or read theses from other people who came before you. And by the time you get all that information, it's outdated.
Yeah,
True.
I've got, it's crazy because I've got, me personally, for you guys to know, I'm on the sales side of radio and marketing and advertising. And a friend of mine went to go back to school to get her master's degree, who does the same thing that I do. She says, Eric, it was a waste of time and my money. I said, why'd you say that? She says, because the things that they were teaching me is not practical in application with what we do on a daily basis. Right. I was like,
and what you do today compared to whatever they're teaching you.
Right.
Because it evolves and it changes so fast. Just like the iPhone 13 going to be a 15 in 2 years. Or the 15 going to be a 17. Right.
And most of the instructors are teaching you things out of a book. And how old are those books?
Yeah, right? And it's somebody else's work, but you don't know how diligent they were.
Right.
And here's the thing. Always remember this. And I got this one night around 3 o'clock in the morning when I had run out of what do I do for this meeting tomorrow?
Right.
This came to me, and it was something that I had learned in marketing. And this is the key to success. You always test the criterion against the theory.
Okay. Keep dropping them.
Here's the theory. The theory is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The criterion is X equals what? So you got to fill in, it goes back to math and algebra. You got to solve for X.
Right.
Once you solve for X for all of those different portals, then you go back and test the theory against the criterion. If it equals the same, it'll work.
Okay. All right. Well, good stuff. Well, we're gonna be doing this each and every. Lorenzo and I are gonna get up here and cut up with some of the folks that we've met in the industry. Some folks that have meant quite a bit to us. One of the reasons why I wanted to make sure we started it off with where it started is because I've done a lot of cool stuff in the industry, but I wanted to give homage to the folks that were there from day one with me. So I truly appreciate that. Like I said, all the stuff that you poured into a snotty-nosed kid from Newport News, Virginia, at Virginia State, that threw me out in the water when Jazz from the City with Ken Spiderweb didn't show up at the station and made me do that show and never been on a radio, just threw me out there. Somebody, I'm pretty sure anybody that listened to me that day would have been like, yeah, he'll never mount anything.
Now, believe it or not, you were the man for the job and you was at the right place at the right time.
Jerry, do you remember that? You remember that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Catherine Hall telling him that he never amounted anything. and I walked into the office.
Jerry said it. He said it, and he meant it.
Oh yeah, Jerry means
Well,
it.
well, here's the thing. I didn't say anything. I didn't tell a lie.
You told the truth.
I told the truth. Now, you're not talking about a person when you're telling the truth about something that they did.
True.
Right.
Right.
That's keeping it real. That person needs to know that.
Right.
They need to know that somebody knows
Right.
what the
Right.
real deal is.
That's true.
See, we're going through the critical race theory, and
Talk about it.
and what's pissing everybody off is those who did all the bad stuff to somebody don't want to hear that they are bad people.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Our governor's doing some crazy stuff in the state of Florida right now.
Yeah. So you can't you'll never change anything if you don't put honesty on the table.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. They're trying to cover up and keep it hidden.
Yeah. That's the reason why the word integrity is the most powerful word next to loving somebody. It's hard to love a person if you don't know how.
Right.
Loving somebody is not sexing them up. Sexing them up is sexing them up. That ain't love. Love don't take place until you lose something that you realized was important to you and you paid no attention to it. You blew the flame out.
Mm-hmm.
Love takes place between two people when one person saves another person's life or their emotional soul.
Okay. All right.
It ain't the Delphonics.
Yeah.
It's not the old
But they
days.
help. They help though.
They help.
Delphonics help.
Hey love,
hey
They help.
Yeah.
Where you going? Where you going?
Yeah, they help you get there. It ain't Michael Henderson in the nighttime. You know?
Right.
It's wide receiver. Look at that gut.
Mr. C.W. Brown, he told us that's 100. He said you're spitting 100 right now. Shout out to Mike Fox. What's up, my brother? We got some folks checking in on us. A lot of folks from VSU checked in on us.
Yeah, Mr. Miami 305. Thank you for the shout out. He shouted out the Poking Beans in there somewhere on this thread. So he represents 305 to the fullest. So big shout going out to Mr. Miami 305.
I didn't mean to throw Candace to the wolves.
No, you're good. You're good.
But the thing was, she was a young woman, and we were all younger.
Right.
I was 40.
Right.
You guys were 18, 19, 20.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were at different stages of our life. I'm putting up a radio station, and I haven't received anything from anybody on what they want me to do until they gave me the mission statement.
Right.
I made them give me the mission statement. And that taught me a lesson that any station that I would program or any station that I would consult, I made them give me a mission statement because that was the key to success. Otherwise, you can take a job, get there, and find out that don't nobody in the chain of command know what it is that they want or how to get there.
True.
But yet, they're going to fire you when you can't put on the table the project that they could not even vocalize or write about.
Yeah, those were, the thing about it is it's crazy because we look at, how we start and some of the ups and the downs that we go through. But at the same time, I think it makes us better as individuals because, iron sharpens iron. All of us have our horror stories. And probably most fields that we do, but we're talking specifically at radio. And before you got on, Lorenzo and I were making jokes about the fact that we would get our checks at WANT, and the top 5 people that make it to the bank first can cash it.
Had to get there early. I was always the top 5, but I tell everybody, hey, as a PD, I don't own the station, but go ahead and cash that check. Make sure you cash it real quick.
Yeah. A&T was a good place to work. I'm honored to have been accepted. into that exclusive fraternity
Mhm.
over there at WANT. It was not a swinging door operation, so everybody couldn't work there.
That is true.
WANT only took to the cream of the crop.
Yeah, that
I'm
is
gonna be
true.
honest with you about that. That radio station in Richmond. Once I got there, I had no need to go to New York
Mm.
or to OL in Washington D.C. These are the
Wow.
places I wanted to go.
Right.
They weren't doing anything we weren't doing over on Front Street.
Front
That's true.
Street.
That's right. Now they named it after Kirby
After
Carmichael.
Kirby Carmichael,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Shout out
he
to Kirby
deserved.
Carmichael, my brother. Shout out to Kirby Carmichael.
Yeah, he
Legend in the
deserved.
business.
Yeah, Kirby kept it real.
Yeah.
Everybody who walked through there was allowed to be who they were, and that was the beauty of working for Ben.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And the Sinclairs owned it, so the check was good as long as the Sinclairs were owning it, because they would come down, they would fly in from Indiana every Friday and pick up their money.
Mhm.
So now they're Bob FM, and now Sinclair is one of the largest conglomerates when
In the
it comes to
country.
media in the country.
Yeah.
And they did it on our backs.
Well, we made a couple of dollars off the deal.
Well, we made a couple of dollars. They paid us pretty decent money for the time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they could have done more.
Ain't that
See,
the truth?
Based on where they knew they were going, they did it on our backs. I love it, and I have nothing bad to say about it, because we had a chance to make some money and raise a family. We had a chance to provide a service to a city that played a major role in reconstruction,
Mhm.
which is important.
Yeah.
We were in Richmond, Virginia. We were in the heart of the Confederacy.
I tell people that.
And the thing about it was that little AM station kicked everybody's ass in that whole city. And you had white people, black people, Cyclops, and everybody listening to WANT 99, WANT.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, we about to break out because we're a little over time, but I wanted to get you in here, man, because you meant that much to me in my career that I wanted to start it off because Low, that's my brother. I mean, we
Well, y'all supposed to be brothers, man. You guys.
talk how many times we talk a week, man? Way too much?
Yeah.
2 or 3 times a week.
2 or 3
Yeah.
times
Yeah,
a
yeah.
week.
I mean,
And, Lorenzo has his he put me on a internet station I get a chance to voice every night and on the weekend, so I keep my chops right.
Cayman Kelly just called me. So I just called me. So he's on my digital radio station.
He's on the digital radio station.
I'm not on there anymore. So so it's not a conflict of interest, with the terrestrials that I'm on. So basically my brothers are on there taking care of it, but it's doing extremely well. Extremely well. So
well, I tell you what I enjoyed more than anything, not just being around you guys when I was in my 40s. I learned from y'all. You guys taught me a lot. There's no way in the world I could have done that project without you guys and everybody that came through there. What took place was a situation that words can't define, even to this day for me, how I ended up with all this talent that was destined to take over the industry within 4 years after graduation. Everybody talked about Howard University, and nobody talks about what we did. But we did more than Howard University did. We were ahead of them. They were there first.
Right.
But we did radio. We did football and basketball on the road and on the yard first.
Yep.
Right.
Everywhere the Trojans went, a microphone and a jock went.
Oh man, and Lorenzo and I were talking about times that we did the Black College Conference
Yeah.
And see, I'm about to put Jerry out there, Lorenzo.
But show him a couple of the pictures too, if you can go back that far.
Remember
Look,
that?
look at me, boy. I'm clean. Ooh, look at that high top fade. And that skinny man. I'm clean up there, dog.
Hey, Jerry, you also help. I remember when I was 21, so we're gonna keep it legal. You took me to Dominique's over on Peachtree. That was the first real alcoholic drink I had, messing around with you at the Black College Radio Conference. I'm like, okay, all right. So took me to Dominique's on Peachtree. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Well, you guys had already proved that you were men. It didn't have anything to do with age. It had a lot to do with the fact that we were all aging at the same time. There it is, right there. Everybody asked me, "Who is that?" And I told them, I said, that was the staff of WVST. And they told me, everybody's always said the same thing. You guys were a class act, weren't you? I said, yeah. I said, we executed the format like we had them tuxedos on every damn day.
Yeah.
we were open casket clean on that one.
Yeah.
Shoot, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, that was, we did some crazy stuff, and it was meant to be. But if we don't write about it, and if we don't protect that flame, somebody's gonna blow it out.
Well, this is recorded in posterity. We're gonna put this. This is going on our YouTube channel at Convo with the DJ. So it's going to live forever. We're gonna tag it. We're gonna make it right, so people get an opportunity to know, how we all started, and they'll see some of the things that once we're off and gone, it'll still be stuck around here somewhere on the interweb.
Can I say one thing?
Go right ahead.
The only thing that worried me about that project was the night that I got in my car and left at 7:00. And I got all the way to Brandon Mill at 8:00. And Woodhouse was still doing the weather. I've never met a student in my life who was not afraid of the microphone. This man did the weather forecast for a whole hour.
Hey, House.
Woodhouse.
Somebody tag Aaron Woodhouse on this.
Oh my goodness.
Don't give Woodhouse a microphone. If you see Woodhouse, don't let him near a microphone.
Sharon Davis saying, love WVST. Oh, matter of fact, I talked to Kimba today. Kimba was the first female jock on our station.
Look at
She's here in
Jerry's
Atlanta
face.
too. I talked to her today. I told her we're gonna be talking about it tonight. Shout out to Kimba. She was the first female student on the station, so she's down here too.
Santos, she was
Woodhouse,
there.
Woodhouse lives in Atlanta, so
I know where Woodhouse is. Yeah.
We're gonna tag him on this. Hey man, you talk too much.
I mean, ordinarily, you get on the microphone, you give the weather forecast, and you stumble because you're nervous, and you can tell the person is nervous because they're breathing real heavy and hard, because they can't breathe because they're scared.
Right.
Woodhouse had no fear of that RE20.
That's funny.
Oh,
that is funny.
I can't wait to see. I'm gonna call House tonight and be like, hey, Jerry got you. I said, I'm gonna send you the link, House. I tell you exactly where he can get you.
Don't give that man a microphone because he loves them.
Yeah. Well,
that must have been the time where that would be the first thing you would give someone to do. Because I remember when I was on the AM station over at WKHK, and I'm sitting in the AM, the first time I cracked the mic was to do the weather.
Right.
And that's all I would do. And I would just get practice.
That's where you start.
Oh, that's where you start. Just doing the weather over and over again. At get to the end of the weather, shut up. Play the music. Put on Paul Harvey and let him tell the story. You know what I mean?
There it is.
So,
and by the way, I didn't get a chance, Lorenzo, to tell you, I really enjoyed that disc that you gave me of the movie that you wrote. It's one of the best movies I watch. Every time I show it to somebody, man.
Oh, Perfect Peace.
Yeah.
Perfect piece. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I don't know why you sitting on that, man. I tell my wife all the time. I said, see, the Lord like old men and babies because He put me around you guys,
Right.
and all I had to do was give you an idea, and you guys would run with it.
Run with it.
Well,
And
you
you got it right, and you got it right every time the first time. Because if you notice, I didn't let no pros in there. I didn't let anybody in there with experience or any wannabes in there. I picked and chose who I wanted in there because I could trust you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Hey, Jerry, stick around. But we're gonna shut it down because we're way over time. But I wanted to get in. I wanted to get out here and to have our folks get a chance to listen to some of the foolishness on how we started in this business because it was truly hilarious on some of the things that happened. So, Jerry, tell people how they can reach you through social media. How can they find you? Or are you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on social media. CNoop98, CN.
He's still repping.
He's still repping
98.
He's still repping for the Noops.
Well, I can't help for. I'm gonna tell you something, man. That's another thing that's important to me. I've always wanted to be a Noop.
You've been a Noop for a long time now.
Yeah, I have. CNoop98. I crossed over in '98.
Yeah.
And my dad was a Q.
Okay.
Just about everybody in my hometown of Roanoke, they are Qs.
Right.
I always take another road.
Right.
I want to see where this next road goes. So I didn't want to do what everybody else did.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that Noops are any better than anybody else. I'm saying I'm glad that I'm a man of fraternity, but I'm glad that I chose Crimson and Cream.
Okay. All right. So
All
how,
right.
how can they find you now?
CNoop98
Okay.
at AOL.com.
Woo, he still got that AOL.
Oh, no. I talked to Bobby Duckett today. He gave me an AOL address. I was like,
Wow.
Really?
Well, I use Gmail too.
Right.
But I only go on there on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay. I get you. Lo, how can they find you?
Man, the best way to find me is on Twitter. Follow me at Lorenzo Thomas. Still recovering from that COVID. I can hear my voice breaking up every now and then. Or you can follow me on Instagram, which is Lorenzo ICETEA. And you can listen to me Monday through Friday on Star 94.5 in Orlando. That's 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Hot 105 in Miami, 6 to 10 on Saturday night. So that's exactly where you can find me. And let them know where they can find you, baby.
Man, they can catch me at Convo with the DJ on all social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. We will load this on YouTube. And actually, we're going to also load and link the interview that you and I did, Lorenzo, at Virginia State during homecoming that everybody talked about. It's like,
oh,
we
man,
you guys, man, that was a great interview. We're going to link that to this.
I'm on there boo-hooing, Jerry. I'm boo-hooing on there.
We're gonna link it to it, and we're excited about this endeavor, about shooting the breeze, having a conversation with interesting people in the industry, from the entertainment industry, from business stewards, things of that nature, entertaining as a part of the culture. So we're excited about that. So definitely check us out. Hit the like button if you're checking us out on Facebook. If you are on YouTube, please subscribe. Hit the notification button. We'll be doing this each and every Thursday night from 8 to 8:30.
Shout out Crystal real quick, man.
Crystal?
VSU right there at the bottom.
I missed it. Did I miss somebody?
Crystal Scott White, Chris Smith. I know we're getting ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sharon
okay.
Davis. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris Smith,
you put it up there, but
right.
they want to hear us shout him out too.
I mean, I love him. I love him.
That's right.
I love him. So we want to thank everybody for checking us out. We'll be back, of course, each and every Thursday from 8 to 8:30. And thank you for checking us out. Make sure, like I said, check us out on all of our social medias and share. And let's make this thing official.